Welcome to the Good Pod, where today we're talking Elsbeth Season 3, Episode 17, High Class Problems. I'm one of your hosts, Jason Reed. With me, as always, to kick off this episode with, we got an order of Totes My Goats with a side of Kaya. With me, as always, Marissa Garza. Marissa, you good?
I'm good. Jason, you good?
I'm good.
Good.
Listen,
We're good. We're great.
We're great. We're awesome. Look, y'all, we're just drop the bomb right now. Kaya is back. Oh my gosh. Unfortunately, Paramount Plus does not know how to keep a secret, because as I clicked on the episode, the little picture before the episode comes on, it had Kaya on. I was like, oh my god, Kaya's gonna be in this one. And then they, tried to surprise us, but we already knew it was gonna happen. Yeah, Kaya's back, and dare I say, it resulted in the best episode of the season.
Yes, and also I was like, everyone's back.
Everyone's here. Everyone's back.
It's so great. I was like, oh, it's a show again.
It's like, just make this the show, guys. It's not that hard. Make this the show. Stop bringing people in and out. Stop futzing with the rotation. This is what you need. This is the show.
Yes. I love that they self-reference themselves in this as well, a little bit. But yes, I'm so excited that Kai is back. I'm so excited. The gang is back together.
Everyone's here. It. Even Officer Nikki is here, which like when Officer Nikki came onto the beat, it was they were there with Kaya and Elsbeth. I was like, wow, this trio is actually like really cool, really fun. Like, they got good charming chemistry, and we saw it back here again. It was like, okay, yeah, this is what we need. Why are you messing with the formula? This is the formula.
Yes.
Stop messing with it.
Yes.
So, I really hope they see that, and they see the response, and they're like, you know what? Maybe for next season, we got to figure out how to get Kaya back, as a regular.
Well, we'll talk about it, but for right now, there's no for right now, it seems like she might be there for a while. So I'll take it. But are you gonna burst my bubble?
I hate to poop on your parade, but I actually like to do that sometimes.
It's actually part of your job description.
Yeah, I was curious. So I was just like, so for the next 3 episodes, which we have 3 episodes left in the season, is Kaya gonna stay here all the time? So I looked on IMDb, and I was just like, oh, I can see the next episodes. I can see who's guest starring, who's starring, what the cast is going to be. Kaya is not in all of them. She is in, for sure, the last episode of the season. She will be back for the season finale. I can tell you that much.
Oh boy.
I don't know what else will be associated with that. I do know we won't have her for next episode, which is a bummer. But
she's transitioning back.
We got KayaBeth back, guys. Just rename the show KayaBeth, and we'll be fine. We'll be all right. Yes, I was so happy about this episode. Before we dive deep into it, I want to remind you of some free and easy ways you can help this podcast. You can do that by rating, reviewing, subscribing. Those things help us get into the eyes and ears of more people, and it's free for you. It just takes literally 5 seconds of time. You go to the podcast in your podcast app. You either click 5 stars. We love when people leave reviews. We love that. If you're watching on YouTube, you can hit the little follow button. You can follow us. Same thing on your podcast apps. It's very easy to do, very simple, and that really helps us get into the eyes and ears of more people that would enjoy this type of content. We do have a newer review since the last time we've seen you Elsbeth folks. It is left by PJ's Graham. It is entitled So Much Fun. It says, if you're watching Elsbeth and not listening to Good Pod with Jason and Marissa, you're missing half the fun. Their banter is quick, clever, and genuinely funny, like eavesdropping on 2 friends who just get the show. They'll have you laughing 1 minute and then suddenly noticing deeper details you totally missed the next. It's light, insightful, and ridiculously entertaining. Wow.
Thank you.
That is a great, stellar review. Love it. Listen, you don't even have to leave great reviews like that. You can just be like, leave a review I love the show. They're awesome. Boom. And that would get my serotonin, dopamine, whatever they want to call it, up enough for the week to be like, yes, I'm feeling great about myself because someone likes what I do. So we're at 49 reviews. I want to get to 50 by the end of the Elsbeth season. I think we can definitely. We're 1 away. We're 1 away, and it could
be you.
It could be you. If you just want to chat with us about the show, you can do that easily by leaving us an email at thegoodpodfeedback@gmail.com. We love to interact. We love to talk with you guys to know what your feelings about the show. Maybe some things you've noticed, some theories you have. I love to throw out theories on the show. I would love to hear your theories that are probably also almost as wrong as mine are all the time. Yeah, you can also, if you want to, I know I talked about free and easy, but you can also then do some paid and easy, not free and easy, also easy though. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/goodpod and leave any amount of money that you wish, small or large. We love large, but we also like small too. Hey, we'll take anything. We're good. We're down. So yeah, those are all ways you can help this podcast out. With that being out of the way, let's get into the episode and the case of the week. We come into someone on a therapy couch. They're complaining. They're saying, "Oh my god, everyone hates me," and it kind of boils down to a lot of like rich people problems of like, my assistant is just like so upset when she has to stay late. It's, I don't know why, I don't get it. And we see the therapist, who happens to be named Dr. Mal, and Dr. Mal is played by Constance Wu.
Yeah, I was like, oh hey, it's you, Constance
Wu. You. It's you, the Woo. It's the you Woo. So if you're a fan of sitcoms like I am, you will recognize Constance Wu from the show Fresh Off the Boat. It was kind of really a breakout role because she was great on that show. It was so good. I love that show. It was so funny. She was also the star of Crazy Rich Asians, which took over the movies world for like for a good many months back in like, what was it, 2018, 2017-ish, something like that. It was a big thing. Still waiting on the sequels. It's been a while, but still waiting on those. So yeah, Constance Wu is here. Constance Wu is interesting because I remember she was so like, she was in it. She was so big. She was in a movie with Jennifer Lopez at one point. Everyone was talking about her, and then there was this like not a scandal, but a thing where like, Fresh Off the Boat got renewed for like, I think it was like the 6th season, and she went on social media and like complained about it. It was upset.
Well, yes, she did, because she was like, again, as you said, she was so good in the show. Mm-hmm. Right. And she was also building this career outside of the show. And so I could understand where she was coming from. I think how she said it and the fact that she went to social media might not have been the best move, but she basically was like, hey, I'm trying to build this career outside of this. I can't believe I'm locked into the show for another season, like and a half. That was kind of...
And funnily enough, she was almost like the patients she sees in this show of like, oh my god, I'm so rich off this show, but I can't, I don't want to be as rich from the show anymore. I just want to get out of this wildly successful, popular show. Why am I stuck here? Why does everyone love me so much? I get renewed for another season. Oh, the burdens are placed upon me. It's just like, okay.
Well, and so that's another thing that I really liked about this episode, is we did get back to the heart of the rich people problems part of Elsbeth. And like, I liked how the character of Dr. Mal really was like, she takes her work very, very seriously. But she's very, very complicated and has like a lot of different layers to her. So I love that she like was trying to really get us to care about the rich people and their problems. Not saying that rich people don't have problems, and not saying that there's a lot to do, but we all have that. And to me, the access of what rich people have to solve those problems should be available to everyone to solve said problems. But also Dr. Mal was doing a little Robin Hooding, I guess, of her own.
Well, I wouldn't say Robin Hooding. She's not exactly
spreading some.
She's not spreading the wealth to other people. She's spreading the wealth to herself.
Yeah, not to the other people. Yeah,
not exactly Robin Hooding.
Yeah.
And I think the phrase "money doesn't buy you happiness" is so interesting, because that is true. But I think when you have money, the threshold to happiness rises, right? Like, it's like
the access to happiness rises, like, or it changes, because
your relationship with happiness changes, because it's like, what makes a rich person happy the threshold is way higher than what makes me happy. Like, if I went on a private vacation to like, Europe or some other like locale, and I had like a couple of issues on that vacation, I'd be happy. But with someone that has that much money, their threshold for happiness is much higher. Where a small inconvenience on a tropical Isle vacation makes them bummed out, like makes them unhappy. Whereas me, I'm just happy to be here. Like, so I'm
Well,
just like, you know, it
if
doesn't make me
you
unhappy.
watched season 1 of White Lotus, there's a lot of commentary on that because there's a
Mm.
couple where the guy is very obsessed with the fact that he doesn't have the room that he thought he would have, and his wife is just like, look around.
Yeah,
This is where
exactly.
we are. And I think, yeah, it's an interesting premise for the show to kind of explore.
Yeah, it's just kind of it's what something that struck me watching this, like, and seeing the rich people upset about some of the smaller things in life that I'd be like, what do you mean though? Like, but you have all this as well.
I think
So
it's kind of like a problem is going to be a problem if you don't deal with the root underneath it, but the
true.
problem changes for rich people. So like we say, like I say, I don't want to speak for you, but it's like, oh my gosh, your assistant can't work overnights. That must really suck.
Right.
Because I'm like, oh my God, you have an assistant that
Yeah,
can
exactly.
like works
Exactly.
overnight, right?
Yes.
But that person doesn't have to worry about how they're gonna make rent, what they're gonna do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like the different the locus of focus is a little bit different. But at the end, it's like, okay, well, what is the issue underneath all of that that is making me notice this problem to begin with? And I don't know if Dr. Mal, like, she had a lot of great, which we'll get into, but there was a lot of therapy speak in what she said, but I don't know if there was any actual work being done because, you know, she kept going, like clients would still be with her for a long time. And if you're working on the work, you don't really need a therapist for in my experience. I don't want to say anything else.
It seems more that Dr. Mal was here to more coddle these people than to really dig into the like source of their unhappiness. And I mean, Dr. Mal tells this woman, listen, it sounds like you're suffering from shame of abundance. And I can help you through that. Like, okay, cool, great. So more coddling, basically like you just have to deal with these little people. It's not your fault, it's their fault. But you're okay, you're fine.
Well, and I'm going to use these words that are not tangible to you, like shame of abundance.
Mm-hmm.
What does that even mean? Where but the fact that you like put a name on it, the person who's hearing it is like, you're right.
Yes.
Abundance.
Yeah, it's that whole like emperor with no clothes thing of like, you're saying things that it sound like they should be like smart. So I'm gonna go ahead and like say like, oh, that fixes the whole thing. You said the smart words all thrown together. You're smart, so I'm gonna believe you. It's just like, yeah, and Kaya mentions later, like all these crazy terms that this lady comes up with to like coddle these people is so great. So we kind of get a little background of who Constance Wu is. She's Dr. Mal. We know what she's about. He's a therapist to the rich people. Cool. We see Mal coming home to who I thought was her husband at the time, but then I found out, oh, actually it's her boyfriend. He says, you know, he's cooking for her. He has a surprise for her when she gets home. She's like, okay, great, but I gotta take care of something real quick. She goes and logs in on a laptop to a stock trading account, and we see her buying some stock. I say, okay, interesting. Wonder what this is about. She gets back into the kitchen. Her boyfriend pops a question, but he doesn't do it with a diamond. He does it with an opal birthstone.
First of all, like I have never received one of these, but I love a non-diamond engagement ring. Like I was so taken aback that Dr. Mal was not appreciative of this.
Yeah, Dr. Mal was like, ew, yuck, that's not a diamond. Why would you give me this? And he's like, okay, sorry, I thought it would be cool. It's your birthstone. I guess I'll get you a diamond later. And then Mal's like, but we're not rich enough yet. We said we had to get richer to get married. He's like, I mean, we're pretty good. Like, because we find out that her boyfriend is a stock trader himself. He's doing okay.
Well, and he even mentions we just bought a $2 million apartment. Right. Like how much more stable are you looking for here?
Yeah, you know, so we're pretty good. She's like, well, no, we're not good enough, which kind of shows you a little bit more of an insight into Mal as well. Like, okay, it's never going to be enough for you, and that comes from some trauma in your early childhood, which you'll find out about. So you know, she's like, oh my god, it's not a diamond. She's freaking out. A call interrupts, and it's from someone named Jason Rathborn. And you know, he's freaking out because he had a new motorcycle come in, and it's the wrong color. Oh my god, get over here, Mal. I'm going crazy. They sent me the wrong color of motorcycle. She's like, all right, I gotta go deal with Jason, which Kings, I see you. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where our relationship is. That I'm the same name as the victim of this episode. Are y'all mad at me or something? Are y'all upset with me? I don't know. But
Just
Mal,
watch
so
out if they like send you a motorcycle.
yeah,
I
I'll be checking under my car the next times I go in to make sure there's no brake fluid that's leaking.
I do want to like just for a minute. This is where while I was watching, I was like, okay, maybe a therapist like this is really needed because some of these billionaire type people could really go off the wagon if their motorcycle is the wrong color. So maybe just having someone listen to them and say, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this motorcycle is the wrong color," could save the world. You know what I mean? Like this is where my
Yeah.
brain is at this moment because, I don't know, like wars have been started and, stuff just because, and also a man ran for president because of a
I
joke and a
mean,
thing like so like
yeah,
I
but
just
Marissa,
at some part of me, this is where like my view of Dr. Mal was oscillating back and forth through this entire episode because at this point I'm like, oh yeah, you better, because otherwise like World War III is going to start if you don't go.
yeah, but it's with some people, it's never enough.
Oh
Some
no,
people,
agreed,
some people
agreed.
can have a whole cabinet of people calling him and telling him he's great, but he'll keep starting stuff. He'll keep doing stuff. Not to say a specific thing about a specific person, but
Yeah.
it's just sometimes just never enough. Also, like semi-related, I'm watching The Boys right now, and Homelander is also that
Oh
way. Like he has
yes.
just tons and tons of people around him telling him he's the best, literally telling him he's God, and it's still not enough.
But I
Still
think
not
that's
enough.
different than like a therapist. Well, an altruistic therapist who's not trying to
Right.
get something out of this,
Exactly.
calling them out on some stuff. But
Mhm.
yes, at this point, I was like, okay, maybe therapists could save the world. I don't know.
The right therapist,
Yes.
sure. So Mal goes to talk to Jason. He's like, "All right, what? Why are you freaking out about the motorcycle color?" He's like, "Actually, I'm not freaking out about the motorcycle color. I called you here under false pretenses." Dun, dun, dun. Now,
Dun-dun-dun.
I was at this moment. I was like, "Are Mal and Jason having like a thing? Did he call her over here to bang it out on the motorcycle? I don't know." But he's like, "Actually." The problem is I'm getting investigated by the SEC because there are some shenanigans with my dad's company's stock, and people think I'm insider trading. And one thing I know, Mal, is that the only other person I talked to about my dad's company and who may know insider information to trade stock is you. So I feel like you are behind this and I'm taking the fall for it. He's like,
Yes.
how? He's like, how could you do this to me, Mal? I taught you how to hang glide. It's like, okay.
At this point, this is where I was like, okay, like again, every scene, like constantly trying to reevaluate this character. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, so maybe she is like Robin Hood right now, right? Like she's like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, she's like insider trading for good. Like this is great. Like at this point, I'm like, oh my gosh, is this gonna be like a murder who gets away because and the world benefits?
Yeah, well,
Obviously,
and
it turns out differently, but
you know,
sharing what I was thinking.
yeah, Jason, is freaking out on her. He's like, you were never one of us. You never will be. And in fact, I'm telling all my friends to drop you as their wealth therapist. So I was like, uh-oh. Like, and I'm thinking, like, all right, what is an easy reach of Mal right now she's gonna grab and kill Jason with? Is it a wrench? Is she gonna pick up the motorcycle and kill him with the motorcycle? What's gonna go on? And
Hmm.
it's like, oh, well, we're not doing the murder right now. I said, okay. We flash over to Mal wallowing her sorrows at a diner. She's eating. We can hear the line cook in the background yelling out all these orders, yelling out all this nonsensical stuff that probably no one but the people that work at the diner can understand. All these there's a slinging in the mud and a
Yeah,
barn on the
like
table, all this and that and the
like
other
a
things.
Waffle House.
Yeah, exactly. And except there's no bare knuckle brawling going on right now in this diner, like we would at a Waffle House. So while she's at the diner, she's calling Evan and lying to him and says, "Well, I'm still with Jason. It's going to be a while till I'm home." And I know we can hear the line cook in the background, and I'm like, okay, this is going to come into play late. Like,
Mhm.
there's things like now that you pick up the pattern, the tempos of Elsbeth, you're like, okay, this is going to come into play later because we can hear the guy screaming in the background. I'm sure that Evan can hear the guy screaming in the background on the phone as well. So like, all right, keep that locked into the mind. We know it's going to come back later. So then once that scene is over, we see Mal sneaking back into Jason's apartment and turning off the power from the circuit breaker. It's like, okay. We see the security cameras go off. We see the power going off. We see Mal approaching the motorcycle again. It's like, okay, cool. What's gonna happen? Boom! All of a sudden, we're back home with Jason. I'm sorry, back home with Evan. Mal comes back home to her boyfriend, and he's like, all right, well, you didn't really give me an answer to my proposal.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, okay, I realize that I need you. You keep me grounded, and yes, I will marry you. Like, oh, yay, Mal,
At
which I'm sure she did something crazy to Jason, but yeah, she's getting married.
Did you pick up on like what happened at this point? With the
No,
in
what?
and the out of the like and the power out and all of that stuff. Like I wasn't.
Well, I'd assumed that she had turned the power off to maybe kill
Well,
Jason.
yeah.
And to like not get on security cam while doing it. That's what I was assuming. But then she found the motorcycle. I was like, okay. Now at this point, I was like, okay, well, she cut the brakes. Like that's like that's like okay, that's pretty easy to pick up. And so we then go over to the next day. Jason's getting on his bike. I was like, okay, yeah, here we go. The brakes are cut. He's speeding down this street. He's trying to brake as he gets to like a dead end where there's like, I guess the harbor is right there. And oh my God, wouldn't you know it? He cannot brake. And he crashes and goes over into the harbor, and Jason's dead. Oh no. So what's gonna happen? What is this investigation gonna look like? Okay. We go to the investigation part of this episode. When we first come in to the precinct, there is a report on the news. Big happenings at the dock. There are multiple arrests. And Elsbeth is watching this news report. She's like, oh my God, is that Kaya's case?
That's what I was saying. I was like, oh my God, it's Kaya.
Yeah. Is Kaya okay? Is her case? That was happening. What's happening? Well, I was like, yes, that was Kaya's case. And she's fine. Cause ta-da! Kaya's in the door. She's like, I'm right here, Elsbeth. Oh my God. Reunion. And Elsbeth says, well, we're all thinking, does this mean Kaya's back? Like she's back at the precinct? And she's like, for now, Kaya is back. She's taking a small break from undercover work, but for right now, she's back. Kaya wants to go, oh, what's been happening? She's like, oh my God, you know how it is around here, Kaya. Every week it's something new.
They do look at each other. Like they do all kind of pause and look at each other. And I was like, well done.
Like,
well
get
done.
it? Because we're a show that has new episodes. Get it? You get it. So Wagner's all right, Kaya. We have an interesting case down in the what do they call it? The financial sector.
Not Kaya, Detective Blanc.
Oh, Detective Blanc. We're going to put you on this case in the financial district, and you can go too, Elsbeth. Which is like it seemed like he just did this favor for Kaya and Elsbeth to like hang out together, because at this moment, we don't know this isn't necessarily a homicide. This is just like a guy went off his bike.
See what's up.
Yeah, see what's going on. So it's like, Elsbeth, you can just go with your friend. Like, it's fine. Just take your friend to work day. So Elsbeth, who I'm going to call KayaBeth, go to the crime scene. And wouldn't you know it, Officer Nikki is here too. Yes. It's the trio.
Kaya is wearing a fantastic
coat. My God.
Like Kaya, the coat and the suit and everything. Like the fantastic green. I loved the entire outfit was amazing.
Listen, Kaya was always fine, but it seems like Detective Blanc is like on another level. Okay. So they start doing their thing. They say, okay, this is Jason Rathbone, whatever it's called. He's a part of this big family who makes all the airplanes, like not just some, they basically make all the airplanes. So it's part of this big, airplane empire. Jason's wife shows up. She is like, oh my God, I can't believe he's dead. I can't believe he was in perfect health. The bike was brand new. This doesn't make any sense. How could this happen? Kaya says, well, I don't know. Sometimes, people do these things on purpose. Was he like in any like, mental health trouble? Was he okay? And the wife says, no, I mean, he was stressed, but he was motivated. He was about to take over his father's company.
Well, and at this point too, Elsbeth's like, it doesn't have to be like this. Like, we don't know. Like,
yeah, we're not sure. Elsbeth's always ready to take something to another level. She's always ready to rule as a homicide, always ready to investigate something. And so KayaBeth is just like, I mean, but who else could talk to his mental state? Like, uh-oh,
very specifically, not mental well-being, not mood, not like anything, but like very specific mental state.
So for right now, the hypothesis may be, well, maybe he did this on purpose. Maybe this was a suicide. So who can we talk to that would know something about how he was dealing with his emotions? So that gets us into for KayaBeth to talk to Dr. Mal herself, Jason's therapist. Mal says, Jason was pretty troubled. He was acting erratically. I thought I had done my work to calm him down. We find out at that point that Mal is a wealth therapist helping high net worth individuals deal with the stress of everyday life being a rich person. She says, Jason had problems. He had negative self talk, fear of commitment, sexual inadequacy, and legal problems.
He
But
was a
I can't.
man. He was a man.
Um,
Not the legal problems part.
ouch,
Not that
ouch.
like all of that. Not all of that. But I'm just saying, like,
Wow.
these aren't rich. These are like rich people problems. These
Okay,
are,
all right,
like,
Marissa. Man problems. Okay,
oh,
I see
Jason.
you. All right. Okay, cool. But Mal says I can't really talk about it. Elsbeth goes, well, you talked a lot about it just now. So it seems like you kind of went very far. You feel like it's his problems. At that point, Evan, because they're interviewing Dr. Mal in her house, at that point, Evan comes home with some groceries. And Mal jumps up. She's like, oh my God, Evan, you won't believe it. Jason killed himself. Kai's like, well, I mean, we haven't really ruled that yet. You're kind of jumping the gun there, saying that Jason killed himself, which is all really that Elsbeth needs to be like, something's not right here.
And
So
I like how like Evan's like, I gotta go throw this out, and Elspeth's like, I'll come with you, or like whatever. Or, like he's like, I'll go with you. Let me use this moment.
So yeah, Elsbeth does her thing, starts talking to Dr. Mal's fiance. It's like, so was it weird that Dr. Mal would be with Jason like after hours? Evan's like, yeah, well, that guy had a lot of problems. He was pretty needy. So, she was always going to his places, different hours of the day and night, blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, well, I mean, just like for no reason at all. But how long do you think Mal was with Jason? And Evan's like, I mean, this is probably till about after midnight or so. And it's at this point, like Dr. Mal is officially on Elsbeth's radar to be like, yeah, definitely going to be investigating Malfist for sure. At that point, KayaBeth gets a text from Officer Nikki saying, well, Jason had ordered ahead for breakfast. So it seemed like he was planning on, continuing his day, eating breakfast. So that kind of rules out the suicide angle, which, important to note, Kaya is the one that like comes up with this. I think they're working not overtime, but they're really working to make sure that we know that Kaya is like not like our usual detectives that are just ready, willing, and able to take the quickest explanation to get out of this like case.
Yeah, and to show that like not that she didn't know, she was always like this, but she did go away and have this experience of being an undercover cop and learn some things.
Yeah, the evolution of Kaya has been interesting, right? Because when she was first starting, and we were like, I remember saying like, Kaya seems to take a lot of credit for some of Elsbeth's like work. It'd be like, good job, Kaya, when Elsbeth really did all the work. And then as she went and started to become a detective, they were making sure that we saw Kaya doing a lot of the groundwork, a lot of the like coming up with things herself. It's like, okay, like Kaya is kind of leveling up. It's leveling up.
Yes.
And Mal, they go, well, it seems like we can rule out suicide as a thing that Jason did. And Mal's like, oh, I mean, you never really know though. You can't rule out suicide. Trying to really drive home this suicide angle. And it's at that point, Kai and Elsbeth exchange a look, which is like, girl, yeah, and I know. And I think it's really important because it's like, again, is Kaya on Elsbeth's level now? Like Kaya has a sixth sense as well that Elsbeth has of like, yeah, it's her, girl, it's her. Because every other detective we see always doubts Elsbeth, always is trying to look for that other that easy angle, but not Kaya. Kaya's like, I get what you're picking up, Elsbeth.
Do you think Kaya was like, this is the person, or she was like, this is definitely something we should check out? Not because I think like Elsbeth will be like, this is the person and I have to work backwards to like prove it. I think Kaya here was like, okay, this is enough of a hunch to go on. This is enough of a lead to take, as opposed to just dismissing it out of the way. Like Kaya, I think Kaya understands that hunches can lead to work because she was on this undercover case, right? Like she didn't know. She didn't know what was going on. She had to play into this. She had to line things up. She had to do all of that. So I think she might she might be checking in with Elsbeth. You seeing what I'm seeing? You feeling what I'm feeling? Okay, like let's go forward with it. But I think like maybe they're not on the same like conviction level yet.
I think they might. I
But
think
I
it
don't
might have
know.
been. It might have been.
They might have been. Who knows?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine what this show would have been instead of having the Mayor Alec storyline? If we could have followed Kaya on her undercover mission and seen what that was like,
Yeah,
I'd have taken that.
Know.
I'd have taken that. But anyway, we get back to the precinct, and I said, "Oh shit!" I said, "Cam is here too, and he's got a beard." I was like, "Oh my god, Cam's here."
That only had me thinking. I was like, does he have a beard on the Gilded Age this season? Like, what's going on? Like,
I don't know. But yeah, Cam is here too, which I mean, I guess we should have like assumed because with Kaya back, but Cam's been gone for so long. Cam was here when Kaya was gone. Like we were checking it with Cam for a second, and then he was just gone. But now he's back.
He was there with the coroner report says.
Yeah, exactly. For a couple episodes after Kaya was gone
on screen.
Because it was like, all right, what's going on with Kaya? We're like, I don't know what's going on with Kaya. But he's back now. And Cam says, well, yeah, according to these these medical examiner reports, I mean, it could have been suicide, but you never know what's going on in someone's head. And Cam and Kaya kind of exchange a look. So a lot of looks exchanged this episode. It's like, okay, something funky's going on with Cam and Kaya, so we'll get back to that. But I think at that point, I'm like, okay, they might still be together because Cam, once they leave the room, is like, hey, any special requests for dinner? And Kaya's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I'm gonna make dinner. I don't know. It's super awkward, which Elsbeth takes note on. She's like, what's going on? And Kaya's like, oh, nothing. She stays quiet on that front right now.
I didn't know what to make of this. At first, I was like, oh no, did something happen that we don't know about? Like, I didn't know what this meant. And I was a little worried. I was like, don't do this. Don't do this to me. We just got her back. Like, don't break them up.
Yeah. So we go to the garage that Jason's bike was housed in, which I think is also Jason's apartment. And KayaBeth is there. They notice that there were some they're told there was brake fluid on the ground, and the mechanic is there. He's like, hey, I take care of this garage, I take care of this place every day. This was not here when I left yesterday, so it definitely had to be done overnight. And anyone that has access to this house could have cut the brake line, because at this point it's like, okay, so someone cut the brake fluid line. That's what we are surmising from this. Anyone could have done it with access to the house, because the bike was working fine yesterday. It's a thing of beauty, but now the bike's gone, unfortunately. Like, yeah, and Jason too. He's like, oh yeah, sure, Jason. It's like, yeah, I mean, me and the mechanic and Jason weren't like very close, but he does note that Dr. Mal did egg on a lot of extravagant purchases from that Jason made. So this was a lot on her, a lot of stuff done by her.
It was also interesting because he was the guy who took care of the cars and everything. Mm-hmm. He was like, he never wanted me to look at him in the eye. Yeah, and then I wasn't supposed to look at her in the Dr. Mal in the eye either. But he felt like he was just such a like gregarious guy of like, just like, let me talk. Like, hey, what's going on? Let me, you know what I mean? Like shop talky type of stuff. I thought that was just like an interesting detail to show again that like these people aren't necessarily able to be their full selves in presence of the people they're serving.
True. Truly. KayaBeth goes to talk to Jason's wife again, and they ask about about the power outage. Like, you guys experienced a power outage shortly before at some point last night. And she goes, yeah, that happens a lot. We have an old house and we have so much stuff hooked up. We got like 5 hot tubs hooked up to this electrical system. So a lot of times we do trip the breakers and the power does go out. We're supposed to have a breaker system, but it doesn't work sometimes. It is also noted there are cameras all over the apartment except for on the back door. She's like, yeah, I just thought he was trying to cheat. That's why I didn't want to have a backdoor camera. Which is like, to surmise, like, I'd have been fine if he was cheating, as long as I still get this lavish lifestyle. But that was kind of funny.
I've also been watching Friends and Neighbors on Apple TV, which also deals with a lot of rich people, and it's really interesting, like, just putting appliances in houses is a big part of their life, and like talking about like how just upgrading the house. The fact that this woman was like, the usual, like a hot tub and 2 tanning beds,
A
his and
sauna on the
hers,
roof.
and a
Yeah.
sauna on the roof, and all of this stuff. Like it's like normal, but it also speaks to like, I mean, if you really want to get big brained about it, like they're putting all of this into an old house. All this new stuff is like taxing the old house, taxing the old structure. It's almost like the rich people are like taxing the structures in which they are feeding off of and maybe collapsing. I mean, I'm sure that's what they meant when they wrote the show, but I'm just gonna, this one little moment really was that deep. But I'm gonna make it that deep.
I can just see the writer of the episode going, "Oh my god, that is so smart! I didn't even think
so
of that."
Smart.
Yeah. So after Jason's wife leaves, KayaBeth and Officer Nikki kind of talk about it, like, oh, you know, something Nikki found out is like everyone on the street that Jason lives on hates him because his house sucks up all the power and it blacks out the entire neighborhood. So a neighbor could have also been responsible for cutting Jason's brake lines. And Kaya chimes in and says, and you know what's something else? I found out that Jason was under investigation from the SEC because of some insider trading allegations. So there's a lot going on here that we need to kind of suss out. Meanwhile, Mal is in a therapy session with someone. I was like, okay, I know we're supposed to know who that is. I know I've seen that person.
I had the same reaction. I was like, who is this?
Yeah, we're supposed to know who this is. And this was True Rose, which she was connected to the big plot line last season where, what was it?
Well,
it was with that guy Carter.
Yeah, so that was part of the introduction to like the judge, what's his name? Judge
Crawford.
Used the True Rose story to sort of exploit
throw dirt on
Elsbeth in the press. So we needed to talk about True Rose to kind of learn about her divorce, which was handled in the good verse. Or started
we didn't see
like
that.
right, but it was part of there. And so
because I think that was
introduced as like unsettled business in the
because that was part of the reason why Elsbeth came to New York, because she felt bad about how this case ended
because she worked for her ex-husband.
Right.
True Rose
she worked for the bad guy.
Yeah.
And it was something about a prenup that Elsbeth did not divulge some information that could have given True Rose
more money,
the bulk of the estate. And Elsbeth ends up doing the right thing and getting money for True Rose because of this other prenup. I forgot all the details about it, but that was basically what happened. True Rose now has a bunch of money because of what Elsbeth did. And we see True Rose talking to Mal about her issues. And Elsbeth and Kaya kind of like crash the session. And True Rose is like, Elsbeth! Elsbeth's like, True Rose! Oh my God! So once True Rose leaves the scene, KayaBeth talks to Dr. Mal about, it's funny, Jason was facing a lot of insider trading allegations. Did he say anything to you at all about what these might have been about, or he was having trouble with it? And because this gets too close to Dr. Mal and what she's been doing, she's like, nope, he didn't talk to me about anything about that ever. Nothing. So nope, nothing to see here. So stop asking questions about it. Stop. And we get a little more information about Dr. Mal and her background. Dr. Mal was this poor kid that went to private school on a scholarship. So she was kind of the poor kid that was around the rich kids. And so that really kind of influenced her and made her see the other side of life. And she reveals that she got hired by one of her rich friend's dads right out of school to be his personal assistant. So that kind of also delved her deep into the world of wealthy people and how to really kind of figure out the ins and outs of wealthy people, because she was around it all the time, being this assistant to this wealthy guy. Mal, as Elsbeth started to dig a little deeper, Mal goes on the offensive and kind of calls Elsbeth out. Says, "Oh, you're talking about me, helping these like rich people, but you yourself are wearing some expensive clothes. You got this suit on that costs more than most people's monthly rent. And from what I'm reading from you is that you were this big wig at some white shoe Chicago law firm." Based on the fact that she worked for True Rose's husband, I can surmise that fact. And she says, I wonder why you're now working for the police. Is it guilt? Is it what you had to do to earn all that money? And while she's like clocking Elsbeth's tea, you can see Elsbeth like, oh my God. She's
really?
She's like piercing Elsbeth's soul of like, oh my God, she sees right through me. She sees who I am. She's like, why else were you running from your life in Chicago? Was it divorce? What else were you dealing with? Like reading Elsbeth for filth. I was like, oh my God. Like we have never, like we've seen some instances where Elsbeth gets like really like cagey of like, oh my God, like she off her game because someone's reading her. It's like, but Dr. Mal did it so well.
Well, and I think it also had to do with the fact that she was confronted by the fact that this is a wealth therapist, and I don't think she sees herself in that
Mm-hmm.
world. Like she doesn't operate in that world. However, we do know she has a lot of money. She has talked about that she's had a lot of money, and she's also talked about why she does what she does because she has that money. So she, I mean, I guess like this is kind of like the wealth therapy, the wealth guilt conversations
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see, as opposed to my, my assistant can't stay overnight,
Yeah.
5 nights a week. But yeah, and it also shows that Dr. Mel has very good pattern recognition, very good. She knows exactly like what to say to get to push people's buttons, to get underneath their skin, and the power that gives her. Because Elsbeth, before this reading, was basically like, I know you murdered this man. Like this, she was
Mm-hmm.
very confident. She was very there. And then all of these little comments kind of just chipped away. And we got to see that vulnerability side of her that we normally don't see. And that kind of gave, for at least a moment, power to Dr. Mel.
Yeah, and Elsbeth tries to get back on her game. Says, "Oh yeah, you have some very impressive powers of deduction. That must help you read the ins and outs of all your clients' businesses, huh? So maybe you know a little bit something about their business, and you infer all of that by reading them." And so yeah, we go back to the precinct, and Elsbeth is like, this these outfits aren't that expensive, And Kai's like, "Oh, okay, this Dr. Matt really got under your skin there, Elsbeth, huh?" And and then Wagner comes
Well,
out.
and she also was like, I'm over my divorce. I've been over my divorce. I don't know why I'm thinking about divorce.
Yeah, it's like, okay, all right, Elsbeth, okay. And Wagner, in what I deem as one of the moments of the episode, comes out of
Yes,
his office and goes, Cagney, Lacey, get in here. It's like, so funny,
finally.
so good. He tells them, the SEC is called and they want some info on you guys' investigation to see if they can help their investigation. And Wagner says, well, the SEC now knows that Jason was not the one insider trading because they found a lot of other trades from other companies associated with that trading account as well that Jason would have no insider knowledge of. So this is someone that has a lot of information about a lot of companies. And Elsbeth's like, okay, well, you know who all these wealthy people also go to? All the same person they go to? A wealth therapist. And we cut to Mal in her apartment looking at notes, tearing notes out of her book. So it's like, okay, we are now, and as these murderers are wont to do, Mal does not do very well at covering her tracks because it feels like I don't even need Elsbeth to come to this deduction to be like, so all these people that are accused of having insider trading all have one thing in common: it's their therapist. So
Yeah.
bing bang boom. I don't need some super detective to figure that out, but it's still fun watching Elsbeth and Kaya go through it. We once again see the client from the beginning of the episode being questioned by the SEC. And there's an SEC officer there giving some like really serious questions. And then there's Elsbeth and Kai on the sidelines. So like, you said you talk to your therapist as well about your business dealings? Which, the SEC guy is annoyed because Elsbeth and Kai are bumping into his investigation.
Like,
And so,
then you would not say anything. Like,
yeah.
what do you
And so the rich lady goes, "No, I don't say anything about my business to Mal." And Elsa goes, "Well, anything you really talk about could really kind of tip her hand into what's going on in your businesses. What your travel plans, some personal issues, anything could really lead to Mal knowing more about your business." And we find out that the rich lady started seeing Mal 4 months ago when the shady transaction started. This is like, okay, Mal does not do a good job of hiding her tracks. Elsbeth and Kaya go to Wagner and basically lay out their whole case for him. They basically they now have it all figured out. They lay out everything. And again, and Wagner goes, "Oh, still finishing each other's sentences, huh? Good to see you all back together." But then we get the line that we get from Wagner almost every episode. There's just not enough evidence, Elsbeth. KayaBeth, you need more evidence. It's like, okay. Nikki comes in clutch, says, okay, well, we finally are able to talk to the one neighbor we've been wanting to talk to from Jason's apartment complex or whatever. So he's ready to talk now. All right, cool. Wagner does say, I'm down with your Mal theory. You are able to talk to her some more. And maybe this time try and push a little harder and see what you can get. So he's kind of encouraging them to like, all right, follow this thread. Back we're in the precinct still. Kaya is she's avoiding Cam. She's avoiding anything to do with Cam. She doesn't want to talk about Cam. She tries not to talk to Cam. And Elsbeth again keep
Again,
noticing.
like I'm so worried at this point. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, don't do this.
Don't do it. And Kaya talks about the fact that, Mal, she comes up with all these terms: money dysmorphia, joy paralysis, all these hoity-toity terms to describe rich people and the rich people problems. She has some expensive workshops where she goes to different countries and does these different experiences, excursions to help rich people deal with their rich people problems. And they basically say, Mal has created this whole persona to earn people's trust and then use it against them. And Kaya relates that to her undercover work. She says, yeah, it was tough. I had to be people's friends and to gain knowledge about them. And then I had to turn them into the cops. I had to arrest them after that. And she's kind of feeling really affected about it. And then she talks about Cam. She says, yeah, I thought about Cam all the time when I was undercover. But now that I'm back, things just feel different. And she's really scared to talk to him about it.
Oh, yeah, because she's also talking about the fact that she had to be this other person and she had to manipulate people. And Cam is so pure and so good. And that was the one thing that she could hold on to during this time. But she is, I think, worried that she's a different person because of this. And how is that going to change their relationship? Is it going to change their relationship? What's gonna happen there? Yeah.
It maybe feels like Kaya is not the squeaky clean Kaya that she was when she left to go undercover. And maybe she's not,
She had to do things. She's seen some things. She as one would expect, like this. And for her job, she had it's not like she had to make choices. But when you're in a job, your choices have more dire consequences, because especially in a job like that, if she chose not to manipulate someone, or if she chose to not play along, people could get hurt, people could die, she could get fired. There's just so many different things that could happen, as opposed to am I going to turn right or going to turn left?
I mean, they don't really get too.
We have no clues. We don't know what happened.
They don't really get too in detail about how Kaya is different. But however Kaya is different, it doesn't match up to Cam anymore. She can't just come home and shoot the shit about their days and talk about reality TV. Kaya, in whatever way, is different now. It's they don't really delve too deep into why Kaya is different, how Kaya is different, but whatever it is, it doesn't match up with Cam anymore.
Yeah.
So we drop that for the time being. We're back with KayaBeth, and they kind of accost Mal as Mal's on her way to do some wealth therapy with some clients in the park or whatever. And they confront her about the SEC stuff. Says, the funny thing is, all the people with SEC, infractions and insider trading allegations, they all are connected to you, Mal. And Mal says, well, it could be anybody. It could have been the bartender, could have been the hairstylist, could have been a private plane crew. All these people have the same people they mix up with. And then say, no. You are the only common denominator. Mal says, but I mean, you're accusing me of doing stuff like making up shell companies, all this other, insider trading stuff. I don't know how to do any of that. She says, but you know who does know how to do that stuff?
Oh boy.
My fiance, Evan. And he has access to my notes. Oh my gosh, I can't believe Evan would do this. To think I was going to marry him. So she is throwing her man straight under the bus.
Very much. And then also backing up and then rolling over and then
several times. She has no compunction about throwing this man under the bus. And next thing you know, Evan's getting arrested by the SEC. They traced everything back to his stock account, and they found notes from Mal's sessions in his desk. And so KayaBeth
I wonder how they got there.
I wonder. So KayaBeth goes to talk to Evan in his jail cell, and he tells them, crazy, Mal broke up with me, left me her ring, left me a nasty note accusing him of stealing information about her clients, and as bad as that is, he can't even sell the ring because it was damaged, so he couldn't sell it. Because at that point, it's like, okay, put that in your mind, Jason. That's coming back. That's coming back. There's no other reason they would have said that other than this is a clue.
Mhm.
And Evan is like, yeah, she planted all this stuff to incriminate me. This is crazy. And KayaBeth asks him, so what about the call she made to you that night of Jason's, like, of the night before Jason's death? He says,
Mhm.
yeah, it was weird because I could hear someone yelling in the background. So that Jason guy must have been having a lot of issues because I could hear him yelling in the background.
Well, and yes, as we talked about, like, when that scene happened, it was like, remember this happened because it's gonna come back. It's gonna come back. But at the same time, I was like, and maybe I am just a different phone person. I am not someone that necessarily makes phone calls in public or uses my speakerphone or any of this. But if I had made that phone call at that time, like if I were Dr. Mal, I'd be like, I don't know if my noise cancellation is strong enough to handle this situation. I would have said like, hey, let me call you back. Like that was that. I know she was like in her head about a lot of stuff and trying to figure out what to do. But it was really surprising because the guy shouted like 3 times during that phone call. So it was just really interesting that this was like, she could have gotten up, she could have walked somewhere, she could have moved and continued to have the conversation. But this being such a key point in the story was interesting to me.
Yeah, I just don't think she was thinking at that point to be like, oh, let me get away from the screaming line cook. So yeah, they have this information about the phone call. There's some screaming in the background. So KayaBeth talks to Jason's wife, and she goes, "That's odd because Jason was never a screamer. He never screamed anything. He never yelled." She also talks about the fact that Mal was very involved with our life. Jason would let her into the house all the time. She'd be all around she'd be in our different trips, our different houses and different places. She was all over our life. And so KayaBeth's like, huh, did Mal happen to have keys to your house? And the wife goes, well, I mean, she had an electronic key fob to let her into any of our houses. So yeah, she definitely had access. She's like, oh, okay, all right. We take a little break from the case to have the talk with Cam and Kaya. Cam says, why are you acting so weird towards me, Kaya? And Kaya says, hey, it's hard to jump back into Kaya Blanc's life. I was Denise Jackson for a while. Denise Jackson was single, fun, had no one to answer to, and she's having trouble letting the Denise Jackson life go. And Cam was like, yeah, me and you used to be like on the same page, but I just don't know. I can't get a grasp on this new Kaya that's back after the undercover life. And
all I could think of in my head, sorry for this moment, is like, I am for real. Like this is the life that she's like living. She's like Miss Jackson, right? Like she's out there, she's like living this life. And I don't know if it's the life that she didn't allow herself to live before, she got into the academy and did all of this stuff. But it was interesting that like that was the reasoning, because I totally thought up until this point in the episode, I thought it was like I've murdered people, and now
like,
you know what I mean? Like,
it's like Cam, you don't get it. Denise Jackson does blow every day. Cam, like it's like, how is Denise Jackson that much different than Kaya Blanc? Like, what is Denise Jackson doing that can't just jive with the Cam of like what is happening? Like Denise Jackson drinks every day. Cam, Denise Jackson just takes down a 6-pack of beer. Denise Jackson doesn't watch reality TV shows. Cam, Denise Jackson don't do none of the stuff Cam used to do. It's like.
Denise Jackson does not eat baked goods any longer.
Denise Jackson does not have boyfriends at bake. Okay, that is not Denise Jackson's lifestyle. It feels fugazi to me, because I'm just like, they're not being specific enough about what has changed from Kaya to Denise Jackson to make this breakup feel sensical to me. I was like, okay, I understand why we have to do this, but you're not being specific enough for me.
I really would have enjoyed if it was like, hey, Cam, so this, I haven't told you this part of my experience yet. This is what happened. I had to like pretend to do this thing. It really kind of messed me up. Something like that, but not just like, I could live my life. I was single. But she didn't have that freedom. Like she had that freedom, but she didn't have that freedom because she was working undercover. So it's just kind of weird.
Living my life. Hey, I'm a paper chaser, living my life. Like, what is this? But yeah, that was weird. So, and well, the weird part is this wasn't the breakup conversation.
No.
But we don't get to see the breakup conversation later. I was just like, that's a weird way to do that, but
I was
okay.
like, wait, they did that? When did that happen?
Yeah. So Kaya basically is like, all right, we'll talk more about this later. I gotta get back to work. So KayaBeth then goes back to talk to Mal. They show her the notes that Evan supposedly stole from her, and in the funniest moment maybe of the season, they go, okay, so this is one of the notes. This is one of the notes that Evan supposedly stole. It is from a CEO that experienced erectile dysfunction in September of 2024 after the failure of SpaceX's launch. Yo.
I wonder
like,
who that could be.
Wow, this is a just like we had a direct punch into Bill Belichick's face earlier in the season. This is a direct punch in Elon Musk's gonads. They're just like, Elon Musk is a bitch that can't get his dick up. Like, it's like, damn, that's harsh. That is harsh. So apparently, the indirect thing of saying is that Elon Musk is one of her patients, and he had erectile dysfunction due to the failure of SpaceX's launch.
Allegedly.
They're like, and we can't name the client because of client privilege. We're not going to name this person we're about to talk about. That was so freaking funny. But the problem with these notes are the dates don't match up. So they say, so how could Elon how could this person be having this erectile dysfunction before the space shuttle failed to launch? So that's weird, right, Mal? And Mal's like, oh, I don't know. Maybe I just wrote the date wrong in my notes, blah, blah, blah. And they go, or you or whoever snuck Evan the notes just made up these notes and wasn't careful with the dates. Okay. It's like, all right, cool.
They could also test how old the ink is on the paper if they really wanted to get that fancy. But
I mean, I think they did that before in these episodes, I think.
Yeah.
And Mal does what a lot of these suspects do. They go, oh, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm through with talking to you people. If you want to talk to me, you can talk to my attorneys. I'm out of here. And Elsbeth's like, oh, now you're scared? Were you scared when Jason was onto you with the SEC insider trading? Huh? Like Elsbeth is now directly poking the bear. And Mal just fights back. She says, all right, well, what your problem is, Elsbeth, is you have some divide in your nature that needs to be solved. And again, Elsbeth's like, oh my God, you clocked my T. You got me. It's like,
or as Elsbeth points out next, you're holding up a mirror to yourself there, Dr. Mel. Hey. Maybe that's some projection on your part.
Bam. So yeah, after that, Nikki comes back in and says, hey, guess what? Jason's neighbor, that guy, is finally ready to talk. He wants to meet up right now. So they meet with this neighbor guy at the same diner that Mal was at earlier in the episode.
Conveniently.
Like, okay. So apparently this is like this was a diner that is in that neighborhood. So I guess it was like, okay, cool. Very conveniently, extremely conveniently. So we find out that the neighbor had an alibi for the night before Jason died. He was on the phone with 311 complaining about the power outage. Yeah.
Side note. I listened to this entire podcast about New York's 311 system, and it is mind-blowing to me. It is like, basically, I did not know the extent to which, like, it's actual people on the phone, so total alibi, totally get that. It's like a human database for information to the city, and then they like route different problems to different people. I am amazed by it. It was on 99% Invisible, and it was they talked to some lady who's been working there from the beginning. They talked about how it like went from zero to everything. Like, obviously this is like Marissa nerd territory because I love like processes and stuff like that. But I was like, 311 is the greatest thing ever. So like and I don't even live in New York. And so
is that different than
we have a 311, but New York's 311 like connects connects all the city departments. It's not just information. It's like I see a pothole on this thing. Okay, let me send a request to the pothole department, basically, and we're gonna get it fixed. Not just like, did you know that potholes are, taken care of by this department? You have to call these people. They actually like connect you to the people that you actually. It's like a miracle of like 1980s technology that is still alive today. And I can totally see how valuable it is to the city of New York. And I know just recently, like if you just recently, the current mayor of New York, Mamdani, did also work with 311 people and took a 311 call. So like 311 is a huge part of New York life. And I didn't even know it until I listened to this podcast.
I mean, I just kind of assumed that's what my 311 does. I never had to call my 311, but I kind of assumed that's what 311 was.
I mean, it could be in other cities, but this is like the model of
Hey,
like
I'm
if I
glad.
call my 311, it's going to be like you have to call this department.
They won't directly connect you, basically.
Or even like take the information and send it to that department, because then it would have like the backing of the city. Like this person called and said like this is what's going on. So anyway, I highly recommend checking it out on 99% Invisible. So yeah, this guy, total alibi, was probably on for like hours, not hours, but like talking to someone for at least 5 minutes around what's going on with the power outage.
Yeah, and also Fielding mentions, I couldn't talk to you guys before now because I was in Scotland attending my son's wedding. And I was like, oh my God, Scotland? I know Scotland. Isn't the food super heavy there? Just like, okay. Which
I come from Chicago, Elsbeth.
Well, yeah. But I don't know if this is a plot hole. It's like, this is like at least only 2 days since Jason has been dead. Were you in Scotland for literally the one day of your son's wedding and then decide to come back like the next day? Like, I'm not sure if the timing adds up. Like, how you were calling
from Scotland?
Yeah, he could tell the cameras were out in his building because the power outage. He called 311 from Scotland. So I was like, okay, that's a weird timing issue, but okay, I'll let it go. And while they are talking to this guy in the diner, Elsbeth hears the line cook yelling these nonsensical orders, and she goes, oh, interesting. A shrill voice saying nonsensical things. That's the same thing that that Evan, Mal's fiance, said he heard on the phone with Mal. Interesting. And so Elsbeth shows the same waitress that waited on Mal. She shows her Mal's picture, and she says, "Yeah, that lady was here. She was here before the power outage and ordered some coffee." And so this is the moment where Mal was talking to Evan. So that's what we saw. And then what we didn't know, which is what the waitress tells us, she says also she was here after the power came back on. And she had a whole bunch of stuff all over her hands, and she wouldn't use all of our paper towels in the bathroom to wash all the stuff off her hands. It's like, okay, interesting. So we find that out. We now cut over to Dr. Mal
doing coffee, okay? Or at least do something.
Yeah, especially don't do anything to piss off the wait staff to snitch on you out when people come back in to ask about you. Yeah. And so Mal's doing some rage therapy with some of her clients, smashing some very expensive items, and time for the bust. KayaBeth-and-Nikki are all here. They came in to bust Dr. Mal. They break the whole thing down, talk about everything that happened. But what I noticed is this is kind of a true reveal team up from Kaya and Elsbeth. It's not just Elsbeth breaking it down. It's both of them going back and forth, breaking it down.
Kaya pushed everyone out of the room except for Dr. Mal before they did that. Usually Elsbeth will just bust in and they'll have this audience where Kaya was like, get out.
Everyone out of here.
We have some things to do.
What I did notice, which I don't know if this is again another kind of continuity error, but they single out the fact that Dr. Mal turned the sauna on to black to cause a power outage. It's that's not what we saw. We didn't see her turn the sauna on at all. We just saw her go to the circuit breaker and turn the power off. I don't know if that was. Or
we saw her turn the power back on.
No, because we saw her. No, we saw her turn the power off the breaker, and then we saw her approaching the motorcycle.
Yes, I know. I would just order of operations would be turn on the sauna, power goes off, go to the circuit breaker, turn the circuit breaker back on.
I don't know. Interesting.
But I don't know. Yes, I know. The fact that the sauna was mentioned by his wife, but we didn't see her with the sauna was a little weird.
Yeah, I was just wondering if they shot a sauna thing and they were for whatever reason, they're well, we can't, that won't work. We'll just reshoot her, turn it off with the power breaker, and then they just forgot to edit it out of this scene. I don't know. It was weird. But yeah, so yes, you did all this. We laid all that out, what you did. And also the ring that she returned to Evan, we examined that ring and we found some brake fluid in it. That's why it was so damaged. And it's the same brake fluid that came from Jason's garage. Why, Mal? Why would you do this? You have plenty of money. And Mal says, but not plenty enough. Like, you can always have more.
She's like, what? You don't know. Basically, like, what is a lot of money when you're surrounded by people who have fortunes? And Elsbeth says, I don't know, enough.
Yeah.
Which I thought like, and I think that's where Elsbeth is coming from in her wealth journey. Is she's just kind of like, I have enough. Like, I don't need to go. I don't need to do more.
It seems like she has a little more than enough, but no, okay.
Right. Yes. But she's not venture capitalisting. She's not like trying to, do all this stuff. Like, she just is buying her fancy clothes, living her fancy life.
It's like enough will be shopping at Target. Like more than enough is buying a outfit that costs more than some people's rents. But whatever, this is beside the point. It's just more of like we didn't really delve. We didn't really have time to delve into more of Mal and her psyche of like she came from poverty, so she just felt like once you come from poverty, you feel like there's never enough. Because at any moment it could all be gone. So she has to get more and more and more and more. But yeah, so Mal gets arrested. That's all done. We then go over to a scene where KayaBeth is hanging out, I assume in Elsbeth's apartment.
Yes.
Elsbeth asks Kaya, how did Cam take the breakup? She's, he took it very well. It's like, all right, we didn't get to see it.
Well, wait. At first, I think the conversation was like, hey, how do you take it? At this point, I think they're talking about the other conversation that they had earlier. And Kaya's like, he took it pretty well. And she goes on and says, well, and I can't commit to anything right now. And I was like, oh my God, did you just break up with him? Like, I was like, what? Yeah. What? How did I miss this?
Yeah. And Kaya talks about the fact that, she had a lot of, issues being undercover. She had to hold so much in and she's just not ready. She's not ready to commit right now.
Different than I was single Miss Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, so, I mean, I'm glad she had an honest conversation, which I know Elsbeth had mentioned, like, you at least got to have the honest conversation. So I'm glad she had it, but I just think like there's so much with Kaya's story. Like we've invested so seasons with this character, and then to not get anything concrete to really kind of understand what's going on with her psyche at the moment, and then knowing what you shared at the top of like she's not going to be around until the season finale. Just she needs her own show for a little bit. Like you need like a Kaya mini series to kind of like catch up with her.
Elsbeth ironically suggests Kaya go to therapy to cope. Ha 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 ha. We just busted a therapist. Isn't that funny? And then they watch an episode of Beyond the Black Veil. So apparently Denise Jackson is still into reality TV. So that's not even
just not with Cam.
Just not with Cam for whatever reason. We still don't really know. So Elsbeth and Kaya are rebonding over reality TV, and that's where the episode ends. You know what? You know what though? You know what a breakup from Cam leaves the room for? Leaves the room. It leaves plenty of room for River Kaya or Kayaverse.
Because why do you want to hook up with Kaya?
I don't know. It's just the vibe I got from the first time River showed up, and his like interactions with Kaya was like it gave me feelings of these two people can't stand each other right now, but later they're gonna be together. That's what it gave me vibes of.
Think it's gonna be like, oh my gosh, I was an undercover cop. I changed so much. Oh my gosh, you were gone, and I learned how to be a normal human and not be a jerk face.
Exactly. And you know who could relate to Kaya and her issues of being a cop? Another cop. It happens all the time. And it's like I feel like this leaves the chasm open for Rivers and Kaya to get together.
I'll let you ship that one on your own.
I mean, I'm not necessarily shipping it. I'm just saying I could see if the show is going in that direction. Will Kaya be around enough to have a relationship? I don't know, but I could just see it. I don't know. Maybe that's where they'll leave us in the season finale. Is like more vibes between Rivers and Kaya. I don't know.
I also hope that this was not the last we see of Cam. Like, it might be, but like, it's just so weird.
It's weird. I don't know if it was just like we're done with like the Kaya Cam stuff. We don't need Cam around anymore.
I
More of the kind
guess.
of budget slashing of like, all right, who can we get rid of? We can get rid of Cam.
He's on
Because if we
another show.
do,
He's making the bank over there on
well,
the
yeah,
HBO.
if we do the Kaya Rivers thing, Rivers is already around, so we don't need Cam anymore. I don't know. But yeah, Kaya's back for now. We'll see how much longer she's in it. We'll see if she gets assigned another undercover operation. I would love to see. We saw it a little bit, but I would love for Kaya and Elsbeth to interact, where Elsbeth has to interact with the undercover Kaya. We saw some in that episode where Kaya made a quick cameo earlier in the season. But I'd love to see a prolonged episode where it's like she has to act like she doesn't know who Kaya is for a long time in that episode.
There was one other Elsbeth, Kaya, Kelsbeth,
It's
what is it
Kaya
called?
Beth.
Kaya
Kaya
Beth,
Beth.
sorry.
Yeah.
Kaya Beth moment that I was just like, so Elsbeth was telling Kaya, like, hey, you need to have this honest conversation with someone or with Cam. And she was like, yeah, a lot of good that did you with Angus and
Oh yeah, and
Alec.
Alec.
And I was like, well, first of all, like, how did you get that communication? How did you know about this?
Right?
Obviously, like the Alec thing, sure, fine, whatever, it was a little bit more public, but like, were they communicating? How was that information getting? Was
Well,
it Wagner? Like, how
you
did
know,
that get through? But also, like, you don't know the whole story. Like, what's going on? Like, where is this coming from, Kaya? Like, what?
well, listen, maybe because we saw that further down the episode, maybe by the time this had happened, they maybe on the way to like going to talk to Mal, Elsbeth downloaded her on all the information about
Maybe.
Alec and Angus, maybe. But yeah, listen, this was a great episode.
Loved
Kaya's
it.
back, and that chemistry between Kaya and Elsbeth is still there. They're
They're in their PJs. They're having
Yep.
ice cream. They're watching reality TV. We're back.
And I had really been thinking, like, when Kaya was like off the screen, I was like, is there something with like Carrie
Preston?
Preston? Yeah, is there something with Carrie Preston and Cara Patterson that is off? But I, for some reason, just felt like they are besties. Like,
Do
off screen.
not. Juliana Margulies is the situation.
I know. It's like it did feel like Carrie Preston was happy to have her friend back. Like just the vibes was so good. I was like, yes, these two. And again, like, this is the show, guys. Stop futzing with it and just make this the show. Kaya and Elsbeth solving cases together, because you don't have to compare her with inept detectives. You can just have her with the same detective every week, just solving cases, being great together. No one would complain. Everyone would celebrate. But who knows if that's to come. I do hope we get some sort of like, confirmation after season 4. Like, hey, you guys loved Kaya back. Or I'm sorry, at the end of season 3, into season 4. You guys love Kaya back. Guess what? She's back to being a series regular. She's with Elsbeth all the time. Everyone rejoices. Yay.
Or at least, if for whatever reason, it's not like Paramount doesn't have enough money these days, because they're out there buying a bunch of crap.
It's never enough.
I would say if she's not on every episode, if she's in more than 3, I would take it, like, just to have that relational check-in between the two of them at a more frequent basis throughout a season, I think would be very good for the show.
Yeah, for sure. But that was the episode this week. Marissa, can you tell people where they can find you and what you're up to nowadays?
Yeah, you can find me at itsmemarissag.com, where there are links to all of the things, including the YouTube link for this particular podcast. Over on YouTube, we do have different feeds for Elsbeth and for The Good Wife. So if you're looking to catch up on either one of those shows, it's a little bit easier to do over there. You can also subscribe to us there as well. That would help us out a real lot. You can also find links at itsmemarissag.com for my coverage on Woven podcasts of Pretty Little Liars, which we cover one previously on at a time. And then my sister and I are very slowly but very surely making our way through the final frontier by watching Star Trek The Next Generation as our first watch over at USS Sisterhood. So that is what's going on with me. Jason, what's going on with you?
Oh yeah, you can find me talking trash TV, talking relationships over on a Perfect Match podcast, where me and Asia Welch talk about the show Married at First Sight. We are currently starting our rewatch of season 12. We're in the early stages of that. We've got seasons 11, 1, 10, all in the bank for you to check out over all. Yeah, if you like Married at First Sight, join us on Patreon at the Perfect Match Podcast. That's where you can find that. Also, I was on the Tastemakers podcast with
Oh.
our mutual friend Grace Leader. We talked
Speaking
about
of rich people, speaking of taste, speaking of high society.
the Tastemakers. We talked about The Boys. The Boys is is about to wrap up, but we talked about the latest episode 5 of this season. Fun episode. We got into a lot of nerdy comic book material talk. So if that's something that floats your boat, go on over there and listen to me and Grace talk over on the Tastemakers podcast about The Boys. Yeah, that's it for me. That's it for Marissa. Until next time, stay good.